2024 was the worst and best year of my life. Hello, my name is Austin. I make YouTube videos that, in spite of numerous peaks and valleys in terms of quality, people are still inexplicably watching. Thanks for sticking around. If you've been following along, you know that since last January, my life has been a bit of a wild ride. And by a bit, I mean that I've been clinging to this year like a stressed out raccoon hanging onto a trash can in a hurricane. Let's start from the beginning. I've been dealing with some serious medical issues for a while now, specifically heart failure caused by a leaky aortic valve. People with my condition have a habit of not being alive for very long. Despite that, I've kept up my normal routine and often hectic schedule of making videos, producing movies, writing books, doing live events, making time for friends and family, and occasionally remembering to sleep. It all came to a head this year. By January, my symptoms started getting noticeably worse, feeling faint, heart palpitations, the works. After a ton of tests and consultations, doctors informed me it was either time to face the music or meet my maker, and scheduled me for open heart surgery last July to replace the faulty valve with a brand spanking new mechanical version. Fun fact, this makes me, technically speaking, a cyborg now. Less fun fact, it was hands down the scariest thing that I have ever done. If you've never experienced sitting down with a surgeon and putting your affairs in order before a major surgery, let me tell you, it really puts things in perspective. So I went under the knife and all seemed to thankfully go well until the day after the surgery, when life threw me yet another curveball. At some point during my initial post-op recovery, I had a stroke. We're not quite sure exactly how it happened, but I woke up in the hospital bed sometime early in the morning, totally paralyzed on one side of my body. That was terrifying. I basically thought that my life was totally over at that point. I would never be able to do any of the things that I needed to do. My words came out all jumbled. I contracted pancreatitis in the ICU. I was a total mess. I spent weeks in the hospital getting IVs inserted and taken out, blood draws around the clock. I had a failed PICC line insertion, which only happens like 1% of the time. I thought I was going to die in there unless I got up and started moving. So no joke, I managed to pull out my phone, I watched the trailer to Miles Teller's Bleed for This, and then at 2 o'clock in the morning in the ICU, I got to work.
I'm not done. All right, I got more in me.
I pushed harder than I ever have in my entire life, and thankfully, after a ton of speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, I have clawed my way back. That said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Regular viewers will know that my dominant hand is still pretty messed up. I've got several numb fingers, and I'm still dealing with a recurring tremor, so I'll be honest with you guys, making videos the back end of this year has been pretty miserable. Not to toot my own horn, but my videos tend to involve a lot of editing that can be fairly intricate. Fancy visual effects and custom animations are rather difficult when your mouse use in hand refuses to cooperate, so take a break and try to recover, right? Nope, apparently not. Being the overachiever that I am, I decided that the best way to get back on my feet was performing in a play, because sure, why not? I probably wasn't thinking very clearly about all of the work that would be involved in such a challenge, and yet I plunged ahead. You can check out a couple of fancy schmancy videos I produced documenting my experience. Also, hey, I wrote a book and got a few steps closer to finishing not one, but 2 animated movies. So here's to 2024, a year that nearly killed me, and yet also reminded me of what it means to truly live. If there's one thing that this whirlwind of a year has made abundantly clear, it's that life can change in an instant. A diagnosis, an accident, a curveball you didn't see coming. But those same moments of uncertainty also reveal the helpers. This year, I saw the kindness of doctors and nurses and medical professionals who refused to give up on me. Friends and family who held me up when I couldn't stand on my own, and complete strangers who showed me that even the smallest gestures have the biggest impact. Here in internet land, we tend to value the metric maestros, the popular figures with tons of followers and subscribers. We sometimes delude ourselves into thinking that what counts is being seen. Being a YouTuber is the most desired career path for youngsters today. But my heroes this year were the surgeons who safely brought me through a mind-bogglingly risky heart operation. My heroes are the nurses who cared for me in the ICU when I was at my absolute lowest, who treated me with kindness, who weren't too proud to clean me up when I puked or soiled myself, who held my hand and reassured me even when I was terrified that it would get better, who helped me get up out of that bed, who celebrated every tiny victory with me like it was a miracle, and who never made me feel like a burden, even when I was one. My heroes, they're the rehab professionals who coached me through every uneasy step on the exercise track, who kept pushing me to go farther, to lift just one more rep, to hold out for one more minute. They're the strangers online who saw what I was going through and said, "Hey, I want to help in some way. Can I back you on Patreon?" It's even you, random lady at Chick-fil-A who came up to me when I was sitting in the dining room my first day out of the hospital, still covered in bandages and looking like a zombie, to say, "Excuse me, sir, I can tell that you are having a very hard day. May I pray with you?" My heroes are the loved ones in my life who helped me find a strength I didn't know that I had. I don't know what this next year will bring. Almost certainly there will be challenges, unexpected storms, moments where life seems way too complicated or stressful or cynical or hopeless, but the one way out is through. And whatever your goals or dreams are, I hope that you have the courage to face every single messy, beautiful, unpredictable moment. And no matter what, to stop and help others along the way. Thanks for watching my stuff this year, and special thanks to this video sponsor who, in spite of everything going on, still stuck with me, Squarespace. They can help you put together a beautifully designed website in no time thanks to their all-new design intelligence, giving you access to easy-to-use tools so you can build a site that feels uniquely you, no coding required. Whether you're showcasing your art, story, or business, your vision will shine. Like if you want to start your own podcast, Squarespace has you covered with audio blocks. Plus, you can sell stuff from courses and videos to music or memberships. You can get started today by going to squarespace.com and starting your free trial. If you like the experience, then when you're ready to launch your site in full, you can head over to squarespace.com/Austin McConnell and save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain.